Torrance. I'm going to use the dark mirror for you. It is a inward deck, quite deep and dark. So I do archive of this TikTok live to my YouTube account. Feel free to go back into it later on. Going to the first card, Atonement. 31. Pain buried beneath the pain. That's what I'm getting. It feels like all these unpleasant experiences that you have in your past, and it get buried by another layer of pain. It's like pain on top of pain, so that way you never have to go dig up the other pains that you have experienced in your past. That's what it feels like. So, and that's what's going on with all this sword that you're stabbing yourself with. It's you don't want me to say self-inflicted. Partially it's self-inflicted, and I know it's caused by other people's in your life, causing you the pain that you have. But however, you have suppressed them in some way, so it create more different level of pains that you're having. So you're having pain on top of pains, layering like a mountain of pains. So each one of them varies based on the life you're saying and who you're having that experience with. So is there any more to elaborate here? Why it is self-inflicted? Because you choose to bury them. So therefore it is self-inflicted as well. Instead of taking a light path, a easier path, a lighter path. Perhaps they want me to say lighter path, not light path or easier path, but a lighter path where you're not carrying the burden with you. You know, you got this huge mountain on top of you that you're carrying. As of today, is not when to let go, to take them up. When I say let go, is really take each one of them up so you can find true healing. Burying them is not a true healing. Should I move on to the next card? Is there more I need to say on that? 32 today for tomorrow. It's meaning you're not living in the present time. Is it the future or is the past? Both. You're stuck in the future and you're stuck in the past. Past is the experiences that you have, some significant event in your life that are so profound to you that you're stuck in them. It feels like you're still thinking about them. And about the future, anticipation, in what way? It's more like resources for the future. It feels like a sense of worry, a sense of hurry, sense of fear. That's what you're living in, to make you anticipate more on the future than necessary, instead of having a preparation turn into those negative feelings that I mentioned just now. And that's what's going on about you in the anticipation, not realizing you're triggering yourself with more negative emotions instead of doing something positive about it. It feels like you're stuck in that cycle, repeating cycle for some time. Is there any more you mentioned about this? $23, revenge. You want to get even, perhaps, or you want to somehow doing something to other people because of unfair treatment that you experience in your life. I don't think it's particularly target in specific individual. I think it's more like a reactive. It feels like an emotional reaction that you're having, whatever life event that you're encountering, that you feel being treated unfairly. You want to somehow unleash that negative feeling towards certain people, whether they are the direct person doing that to you or not. That's what I feel like. I feel like you're diverting it on somebody, an easy target on somebody. Unleash your with that kind of feeling, unfair feelings that I'm saying. It make you feel. Am I allowed to say that specifically? What that feeling is? No, I'm not allowed to. That's why I'm so hard to express it to you. Because when you feel unfairly cheated by whatever that is, you will take that feeling onto an easy target. Does not mean you're unleashing on the same person who did it to you. That's what I'm sensing. Like diverting it instead of facing that issue with that individual, specific individual from your past, you just do it on somebody. Is he even aware of it? Kind of. Not necessary that you're doing it. Not necessarily you're aware of every time you're doing it on somebody. Sometimes you're aware of what you're doing. Sometimes you don't. Because I feel like you're silking or do it like in a passive aggressive way. Another word. I feel like you have to do so much forgiveness. A lot of forgiveness that you have to do and stop turning your negative feeling into more darkness and then incite it more on innocent people. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, 27, fragmentation. Well, they call bystander. They don't want me to say innocent people, bystander. People that are in your surrounding, you just pick and choose whatever. I mean, it's more like a emotional reaction. I don't think you consciously pick and choose. It's just you're not realizing that you are doing it. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but you just don't understand why, because of you're having so much suppression about your past and causing this type of a byproduct reactions. Okay. 27, fragmentation. Because of the suppression, you're fragmenting yourself, triggering subconsciousness that is so intense. It kind of build it up and then you get this outburst on your consciousness. And your consciousness also have an ego consciousness. So it's like a 2 level of consciousness that you're having. And that's what causing this fragmentation in you. And it's all started from suppressions. You're not willing to deal with your emotion right away. You tend to like suppress it until it comes to the surface, and then you just not realizing that that how it's impact you so seriously. I feel like, yeah, it's severe. Not seriously, they want me to use the severity is so high that you just don't understand that what you've been doing to yourself. Is there any more to say about this? So it's up to you to pull all those negative emotion out and work on each one of them. You have to go back to your past to do a lot of self-reflection. I think you know what they are, but you just bury them. It's not going to work, okay? It's going to continue to cause you more emotional chaos on the outside, and then take it out on bystanders. Calling the storm. You have to, it's feel like all this leaf like flying everywhere. It's chaotic. It's feel like not doing it properly, doing shadow work. Is that what you're doing, inner work? But I'm getting shadow work from you. Like you're trying to balance it or something. Balance it, but not really releasing it. Is there something the spiritual guardian, his spiritual one, want to say about this? About shadow work? Shadow works believe in balancing the dark and the light, balancing the positive and the negative emotion. That's all I mean, the dark and light. And that's all people been doing, like Wiki. If you ever research or study Wiki or doing Wiki, that's what they doing. That's all they believe in. But your spiritual guardian is saying that that's not the way to do soul healing. That is not even healing yourself. That is called suppressing yourself, delegating it to something, to a method, to even crystal. Crystal observe your negative energy temporary. When that is done, it will still come back because your soul still practicing that negative feeling. So therefore, it's increase that negative energy. It keep coming back to you. So you keep relying on, I'm not saying you're doing, but they keep referring me to crystal. Perhaps you're using crystal to remove it. So it never heals. It's not even healing. You're just using crystal to, as an example, okay, to remove the negative energy that created by your negative emotion. So I hope you see that it is diverting it. It's not helping you anyway. So you still have to go back to your negative emotion and release it yourself. It is a choice when it comes to emotion, how you feel about something. Perhaps your negative, no, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. Perhaps it is it is the past unpleasant feeling that you, okay, let me take a deep breath because I'm eating my own word here. It's just the energy I pick up from people where when I'm reading, it just triggers me, not able to speak properly. It's like I have to release this energy. I know what I need to say, but I just cannot engage in your energy to do readings. It has to do with the pleasant situation that you experienced in the past, causing you to having the negative emotion over and over again. It doesn't matter because once you practice that emotion that you're getting stuck with, any future and now situation similar to that, it will continue that negative emotion that you used in the past. It stay there until you go back to your past and heal from that. Wherever that you need heal with that individual or with that specific situation that you experience. I don't know what it is. I'm not here to channel unless your spiritual guardian want to give an example. Fear. You're afraid of some people in your past causing you to worry. You worry. I don't know what it is that you feel like you need to protect yourself. Am I allowed you to tell him that? Bullying. Perhaps you were bullied when you were young and it caused you fear. It also caused you worry because am I going to encounter this individual again? You know, that kind of mindset, right? So it makes you worry, it caused you fear, and you didn't know what to do perhaps when you were little. So being bullied. So it also caused you stress. So you couldn't relax. So you get anxiety. Stress, anxiety go in hand. A lot of that come from fear, right? Fear can trigger multiple negative emotions. And I'm just connecting that back to you just as simple as bullying. And that's how you reacted in that environment. And to work on that, I feel like you need to have a safe zone for yourself. But safe zone for yourself, you're reacting to that. And it's not about telling yourself not to be afraid anymore. It's more like, can you forgive that individual that have hurt you, causing you all of this? I think grudge is coming through me as well because of the bullying, not targeting that individual that target you. I think you hold resentment toward that individual, not realizing it's okay. Resentment or grudge to me is the same thing. I mean, your spiritual guide didn't like me to use the term resentment, okay? Perhaps there's a anger, perhaps there's hate, perhaps there's a pent up frustration, toward that individual. You're not realizing that you need to do forgiveness. You need to have compassion toward that individual as well. So I hope you understand that is the only way for you to heal if you not want to face this individual. I'm not saying that you need to go back to an individual. Hey, what you did to me a long time ago and I don't appreciate it. This is what you caused me, all of that, But forgiving is not like confronting the individual. Forgiving is come from your heart. Torrance, it's up to you to do that. To do it completely and fully. Don't leave 1% out. If you leave 1% out, guess what? That sea of darkness is gonna go back. My throat is getting stuck here. I need to take a drink of something. So that sea of darkness will grow back if you leave out 1% of not when to totally, fully God forgive whoever bully you. So I hope you understand that because of this, you're gonna unleash it on bystander, because of this reactive situation in the past. This is about healing. This is not about shadow works. This is about inner work. Inner work is about releasing 100% of that specific negative emotion by reflecting back on your past. Is there any more that I need to say? So this card is telling me you're sweeping all this negativity within your inside of yourself, but they never go away. I mean, it's keep like circling over, repeating the same cycle. So any more I need to say for Torrance here? No, I got to end it here for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. I got to use the enchanted map oracle for you. Let's go to the first card. Encouragement. Talking about the past. You and there is a lack of encouragement. encouragement in the relationship to love. And that's what's when more mainly the significant part of it. There's something I need to elaborate there. And why. Falling into trapping each other into cycling the emotional baggage from the past. And that's what causing the pain on both sides. I feel like there's pain in both sides. But there's something better waiting for both of you. And I'm not sure what that means when you say waiting for both of you without understanding the identity about this journey with this person, Desi. So I'm going to leave it at that because your guardians does not want me to further tell you that, but just leave it at that for this moment. Is there any more you say about this? Direction. It is significant about direction. Now, both her, Desi, it's in the progress of navigating to the right direction. Is a he? Okay, is a he or she? She? Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, I don't want to say the wrong sex about Desi, so I'm gonna keep saying Desi. Okay, Desi needs to navigate the right path on his own. I'm gonna use he unless you want to confirm. I don't know why I'm having conflict with the sex about Desi, but that he has to go through his own path to navigate to find the right path for himself. That's what I'm trying to say here. It has to do it by alone. He cannot be intrude in this matter. I think he's going through something on his own that he needs to deal with, because I'm saying that you both have emotional baggages that is causing the separation. Is there anything I need to... Yes, I already talked about the encouragement. They were inciting darkness enough. It wasn't a loving from the light, from pureness. So therefore, they have problem. I'm not going to answer questions, Shanda. It's not a question reading. That's why it's called relationship insight. Whatever your spiritual guardian wants me to tell you, it will come through to me. So be patient on that. So it's whatever come through, it will come through. That is meant for you to receive. So open your mind to all possibility. So don't engage in desperation about the future. No problem. But you need to understand, I'm opening up a spiritual portal using your energy that I pick up through your higher self to connect with your spiritual guardian. What happened whiles ago, I was doing reading for that person. He has hard time speaking up. I pick up that energy from him, and I hard time speaking up as well, and I lost my words. So calm down, whatever you do, take a deep breath, Okay, it's okay. I understand you don't understand it, but I explain it to you how it works when I do reading for someone, when I'm tapping in the spiritual realm for you. So just take deep breath. It's okay. If you want to comment what I comment, like that's fine, but just don't get into desperation. Don't desire nothing like that. Okay, don't manifest anything. Okay, I know that you have desperation, but just don't do it. And any more to say about card 54? Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next card. Wizard of Awareness, number 3. Observe. Too much force behind a desire to cause a specific outcome, to rob your authentic self and the true experience that you're supposed to experience in life, wherever that is coming for you, past, current, and future, basically, when it comes to experiences. And that's both sides, not just you, but also Desi as well. Need to step back. You need to release the energy. That energy, that force that's talking about, it's come from your emotions, causing you to have certain desire. And not understanding the bigger picture, not understanding the purpose of why you both happen to collide to create the life event together in the past. Because you both are trapped in your own desire that's not serving your greatest good. And I feel like you both have not do the necessary self-reflection about your own desire as well. This desire triggers quite a bit of negative emotions in you and him. Those negative emotions tying back to the first card, the encouraging darkness in love because it's driven by those negative feelings. That's why it's not working out, okay? I just want to tell you that you guys are encouraging negativity in each other. And any more that I need to say about this awareness card? It's what's so significant about this wizard of awareness. It's all about you need to increase your self-awareness in order to do the necessary deeper reflection of what happened in the past. I think this is very significant about you both that need to reflect on, not between it, but you both, okay, that needs to do, okay, do it on yourself. Do it, he has to do it on himself. You can't just contact, hey Desi, we need to do the self-reflection. It doesn't work this way, okay? It is a individual journey you both have to take, destined to take. No one can do self-reflection for you of what's going on inside your inner world. Same that goes for him. Because you have to take your own responsibility, on how you feel, what you think, and how you behave, and so forth. You own all of that. He does not own the way what you do about you. Same goes for him. Card 53. Listening. Not being heard in the past relationship. It did happen as well, right? In the past relationship, the entire lifetime as well. It is for her or it's for him? Both parties? Why so much mirroring, so much reflection? You both like having similar problems. That's what the more I'm reading you guys, the more I'm like, you both are having similar darkness that have not dealt with, is same thing as listening, feeling not being heard in the relationship and also before the relationship. So something's going on in your past, something going on with his past. Why do you both feel like it's not being heard? I'm not just talking about the joining the relationship you're both having. So there's something going on that they are speaking out. They do speak up, but then they use the wrong type of language to speak. To speak because they've been triggered this feeling of not being heard, so they went to the yang energy, which is active, causing this fighting, verbal fighting. So argument, fighting. They use the term fighting for you, not just argument. Argument is trying to make a point, but you guys are fighting, yelling. Is there yelling involved? Yes. That's what I'm picking up, fighting and yelling. I don't know how many times y'all did it, but that is coming from the yang energy. That is the masculine energy you both having, caused by not being heard, the feeling deep down inside that trigger those aggressions on both of you. So that's where the thing crashed. It's only go crashing like that is only create more, what do you call it, feel it more, or take things out of proportion. That's another word for it. It's okay to discuss the topic, but then you suddenly take it out of proportion to judge certain characteristic of the individual. And that's what causing the out of proportion. So none of you were calm in that nature to really stick to the objective of talking about the issue. Labeling somebody, it's not a good thing when it comes to the conversation, especially that someone that you have feeling for. So anymore, they talk about this listening card. Bone collector. Is asking you to dive deep to understand the reaction that you both are having toward each other, to find out the past conditioning, the unconscious problem, the expectation problem. There's some trauma. From whom? Trauma from Desi. Shanda has it. Not really you, Shanda. It's Desi has trauma. When every time I use the term trauma, there is a very serious issue in the psyche causing the trauma. I don't know, the term abuse come to me. Perhaps he was abused as a child. That's why it's so dramatic from him. So any more need to talk about here? What else they need to reflect on? the truth. Understanding the truth require you both to go through those reflections, the trauma, conditioning, reaction, the unconscious issue, this expectation issue. So I just repeat all of that. Any more need to talk about here? Limitation. Because of all this darkness that you both having, causing you to limit the perceptions, and that's what lead to judgment. A lot of judgment I'm picking up on each other character when you both don't understand the truth about yourself to express what's going on inside of you and what's going on inside of him. So that's where the limitation on the perception is coming from on both of you. Is there any more to say about this? Compass 50. You want me to talk about Truth North. Truth North is about finding your authentic self. When you're stuck in the South node, that is not the Truth North. It's the opposite of that, where you both are coming from your family background, from whatever culture, from whatever education, from whatever knowledge that you both have learned or even observed, or whatever that is the South, okay? South, it's just what you inherit, but that is not the authentic version of you. So this compass is saying that you both need to navigate yourself back to your true north, so that way you can discover what is authentic to you. Any more to emphasize here? You have to let go the standard of what love is. There's a lot of false belief about love in the society. It just keep advertising it, what love is, or even in your close social circle telling you, oh, that's what love is. I mean, they don't have to verbally express it to you, but you learn it through watching parents, how they love each other, and that's enough to give you the idea of love. Idea of love is not true love. Idea of love is just give you desire of love, or desire of attention, desire of happiness, desire of whatever the reason that you desire to have someone in your life. But that is not really love. You just have an idea of love. Is there anything else I need to say about this? That happened to both of you, and it doesn't matter what kind of background, you both have to reflect on that idea of love, how you're conditioning this so-called you think love. And that is the only way to find your truth north, is to decondition all the conditioning that you inherit from the day you were born and as of today. Any more to express here on this? Moonlight 51. Okay, your spiritual guardian want me to say that you're both on twin flame journey. You are each other twin flame. It is spiritual love. It is more than soulmate. It is intense. It has special connection, special feeling with each other. Twin flame does not mean it has to be romantic love. You could be a twin flame with a family member. You could be a twin flame with a friend. It does not have to be a lover. So be open-minded about the terminology of twin flame. Twin flames meaning that you and the other person at soul blueprint level, it has a very high compatibility because of high frequency match with each other. There is no one else like that on earth. Only you and him has this higher frequency match, have this high comparability. If you find someone else to be so comparable, that is just soulmate. That is not twin flame. That means you can have a lot of comparability with other people as well. You might have many soulmates in your life. That too, okay? Let me move on 51 upright, reverse. Too much analyzing is getting you nowhere. Stop overthinking things. It's exhausting to overthink things when you're not engaging in your intuition to feel what is in your inner world. That is a significant message about that. Thinking about something that isn't the truth of the matter, that steer you to the wrong path. It's time to step back on your thinking. Stop using your mind. It's time to go within to activate your moon sign. This is a huge moon sign here. Today is the full moon of Taurus. Moon sign is always about the inner world. Moon sign is always about the intuition. Intuition does not require you to think. All you need to do is dive within to sense what it is that you're feeling right now. And every single moment of that, utilize that intuition. This is your soul language. Do not overthink it. Thinking will cause you exhaustion, cause you to lose your soul, lose your purpose, lose your clarity. Let things come through you, then you will know then that's what coming through your consciousness. Especially things are coming from the subconsciousness. I feel like there are quite a bit in the subconscious side that needs to come through you both, that you need to use the intuition to do it, to navigate them out to the surface, so then you can interpret what that means to you for him as well. I'm talking about both of you here, but I feel like you both are mirroring like exact same thing here. So heavy finger card, I'm talking about you, I'm talking about him as well, so I don't have to keep repeating, both of you. So any more you say about the moonlight? Okay, it's intuition. That is the significance of this card. Okay, they want me to say to work on intuition, you have to ground yourself because of this active thinking thing that you both actually have. So it's a lot of yang, the masculine energy on both of you is so out of balance. And, each one of you has feminine energy and masculine energy, but you're both are on the extreme side of masculine energy, and you need to move that scale back to the middle where you both can have feminine and masculine energy, so you can actually tap into this intuitive ability. And of course, you need to ground yourself to have the balance, the energy. Grounding meaning being still, not to think about anything. You can do meditation like yoga. How yoga as an example, if you want to do yoga, that's fine. I'm not recommending anything to you guys what that is. Yoga is just like example of where you stand still in one positions, whatever pose that is. You stand still and see how long you can hold it without moving, right? and at the same time without thinking about anything, and also without having so much feelings. If you have a lot of feelings because your inner world having emotional turbulence, it is not good for you. It is time to clear that emotional turbulence so that way you don't have an active thinking. Emotion and thinkings are correlated. A lot of people think that thinking does not require emotion, but that is not the truth regarding you both. Because there is underlying emotion in the way how you guys think. It's the motivator is the emotion causing you guys to think. Let me rephrase it, okay? Just previously what I said, I just rephrased it correctly. So you have to understand your emotion to understanding what is the motivator for you to think about something, what makes you to behave in certain way. Any more to elaborate here about grounding? Grounding, I already explained it. It has to be still, no emotional turbulence. Anything coming through, you have to release it. You can do it through deep breathing through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And release that whatever feeling and whatever thoughts that come to you while doing yoga. If you choose to use yoga, or you can do meditations. You want me elaborately talk about this? Like on YouTube, they have meditative root chakra music, if that works for you. But you don't have to sit in a whatever sitting position is comfortable for you and him. Anything else? You might have to smudge sage or burn sage incense at that moment in during that grounding meditation, because when you're engaging in negative emotion, you're gonna attract more of that. Law of attraction said light attract light. Your negative energy attract negative energy. Smudging sage or burn sage incense to temporarily remove your negative energy while you're doing meditation. That's gonna help you from attracting more of the same thing, okay? This help you ground better so you don't have to be actively engaging in negativities. Anything else? $42 wide open. Possessiveness, jealousy, character flaws on both of them. I don't know which side is more possessive or one side is more jealous. In that regard, I think you both know, and that is a false character you both are having. Fret carefully about those feelings because they are very dark feelings. Being jealous and being possessive, either being I feel like it's all driven by insecurity. Both of you are having insecurity in some way. One trigger the jealousy, the other one trigger by the possessiveness, okay? And makes you want to engage in certain words, certain behavior to cause the other party to feel negative. It triggers more insecurity, lack of warmth, lack of love. You have to be gentle with your heart. Open your heart. This wide open means it's totally open your heart to compassion, to unconditional love. So you don't have to keep choking yourself with this jealousy or possessiveness. Love, true love has no jealousy. True love has no possessiveness. True love has no insecurity. When you truly love someone, all you have is unconditional love. Yet you will discern what is a dark and light. When darkness happens, you will open your heart to the light side and release that darkness, so that way you don't continue to incite that darkness in each other. And that's what unconditional love is really about. It is easy for me to say, Shanda, but it is something for you to enlighten yourself through life events, through life experiences. You have to increase your self-awareness of you, how you engage in darkness. That is the only way for you to heal your inner world. So that way you can open yourself more to compassion, to self-love, to unconditional love. And forgiveness also comes through me. You have to forgive Desi. I think he did something to you because of his abusive past. It doesn't seem pretty. I don't know what it is. Does it want me to talk about it? Causing Shanta trauma? Somehow it caused you trauma, anxiety, depression. This relationship has significant impact on you, Shanda. You have to learn forgiveness. Forgive him, okay? Whatever he did to you is not me to channel. It does not want me to channel. I think deep down inside, I think you know consciously what that is, okay? Perhaps he did something to your body that you is so uncomfortable that you dislike of what he did. So forgive him, open your heart to compassion. He's dealing with his own trauma as well. Learn to love yourself, Shanta. Do not give your body so freely. Do not give yourself so freely. You must learn to draw healthy boundary. Doesn't matter what relationship you're having with whoever, now and the future. Trust your gut feeling to do what is right for yourself. Open your heart to self-love and self-compassion anymore. 45. Set embrace. Allow time to heal you. Allow time to heal yourself. If you're suffering over your suffering, you have to understand what that suffering is. Yes, there is sadness. Sadness is a suffering. Pain is a suffering. I don't know why there's a pressure. Pressure generally. They want me to use the term pressure. I don't know, social pressure, cultural pressure, family pressure, friends pressure, even friendship have pressure in your social circle. That is suffering for you and him as well. Wherever culture you both are from, but there's some suffering going on, but it's all caused by the external forces, okay? And you have to identify each one of them, how each one of them is making you guys suffer. And you don't have to continue to feel this suffering. This suffering has different type of negative emotions. Any more need to elaborate here? I'm not sensing sadness. Sadness is lacking compassion for yourself. If you're feeling sad, unhappy, because there's emptiness in Desi having emptiness. Shanta has a void. Again, you both are mirroring each other again here. One is feeling void, the other one's feeling emptiness. When there's an emptiness, because it's all, even there's a void, both you're lacking self-love to begin with. So there's a void and there's emptiness. Needing attention to feel, or some diverted activity to feel that sadness. So it gives this temporary happiness, temporary fulfillment, temporary diversion, so you don't have to keep feeling sad in that regard. So I hope you see that it doesn't help you both to go dive into the core problem about self-love. Your self-love is too conditionally. It's always about something from the external side to make yourself feel good. It's come to this cycle over and over again until you realize that you don't need anything from the outside to love yourself. If you can do that, I think through groundings will help you. Meditation help ground you. So that way you don't have to unleash those personal desire to try to temporarily make you feel good, to call that a self-love. Codependency of external things are not good for you. Even social gathering to temporarily make you feel good, after that, when you go home, you're still having a voice in your heart. Your heart and soul are having a void. Okay, same thing that goes with the emptiness. Any more to elaborate here? Set embrace. To help you increase self-awareness, you have to embrace your dark side, to embrace each of the negative emotion. It's not just sadness, but also whatever that negative emotion that I mentioned earlier. Embrace them, not accept them. Never accept negative emotion as your normal life. You just embrace each one of them so you can work on them, because you have to go through acknowledgement that you even had that negative feeling that causing you harm, causing harm to your psyche, causing you not to love yourself, causing you not to know how to love the other person. That is the key here for you both. Any more to say about that? And that's what embracing means versus accepting. So don't settle last when it comes to your overall well-being, especially your emotional well-being. You don't have to practice negative emotion. Of course, you have to learn to embrace your negative emotion in order to release it. After releasing it each time, and you will feel better each time. Why? Because you're letting go your negative burdens. It takes little baby step. It takes a little bit of accumulation of self-efforts. Releasing a specific negative emotion doesn't happen overnight. It might take years. It took me over 3 decades to heal my depressions. Shanta, not that easy, right? Because emotion is complex. You are complex, and he is very complex with trauma that make it even harder. But determination, not giving up on yourself, that is the only way, right, to take this path of soul healing, you and him. So don't ever give up on yourself. Giving up on yourself is like ending your soul while still living in a void and emptiness. The longer you go about doing that, the worse it's going to get, and it's going to create more anxieties. That's why anxiety happens to a lot of people. They're not willing to deal with their own negative emotion to heal. 48. wishing well. Don't force anything regarding your life journey. Let things come to you. I think forcing anything is meaning the desire, not understanding your desire, where is it coming from, how it is serving your greatest good. I think that when you let desire drive your everyday life, driving your achievement, driving your life journey, it's gonna get you nowhere but more obstacle, more challenges that you have to face. So it is about reflection. The more you reflect on yourself, the better that you understand yourself. Then eventually you will realize that desire is not serving your greatest good. I think you already been through life experiences enough to reflect. Is there once up on your time that you did desire something and it turned out it's not what you wanted, or it turned out that it caused you more problem than what you initially thought that desire was good for you? Okay, this is something, that little moment to reflect on, so that way you're not keep having obsession about desire. I feel like desire is like an obsession. Even though you have strong feeling for this individual, it could become an obsession too. Obsessing someone is not a positive feeling. It's not coming from true love. So you need to understand your underlying desire to cause you to have obsession. Then you can learn to release those negative feelings. Love can happen in distant, even in long distance, because spiritual love never dies when it comes to twin flame journey. This good, this lasting feeling, I'm not going to use the term good feeling. Good feeling is not a good feeling, okay? Spiritual love does not require to have physical touch. Spiritual love is at the soul level, knowing that you love this person. It's adequate. You do wish this person well, wherever that life journey takes him. And you do wish that this person, yes, you one day you can heal as well as you do. So do not force any of that obsession. Do not force any unfavorable desire, because the universe pick up this energy from you both to trigger the manifestation that you don't need to create more negative energy, to attract more negative energy in your life. Is there any more to say about the wishing well? Your spiritual guardian is not a wishing well. It is the guardian that holds your Akashic record. It is your guardian that co-create your journey. It is the guardian that protects you in this twin flame journey to unconditional love, to soul healing. Okay, I just put this on here and hopefully people are reading that, and that what it is about. Self-awareness is spiritual awakening to soul healing, so you can take a light path to unconditional love. It is about deconditioning all the things that you both have learned in the past and as of today. Is there anything that I need a reference for Shanda about the separation? Temporary. Separation is temporary. There will be future reconciliation, but before then, you have to work on yourself to heal. Reconciliation doesn't happen, Shanta, when you are having emotional baggage. Same things go with Desi. If you guys not willing to take a north direction, to find your authentic self, you're going to continue to stuck in this negative cycle over and over. It is not something to decide for each other. Know that spiritual love is high above from your higher self, and that is adequate. It is the period that you both have to work on yourself individually. Trust divine timing of everything that will come to you both. Is there any more? Call? Higher calling? Phone call? Refrain from calling? I'm not sure, perhaps you, Shanda, that you want to call Dusty? Your spiritual guardian tell you to refrain from calling him. You have to work on this obsessive desire that you have for him that isn't coming from true love. Any more I need to say here? I'm going to end this reading for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. And as Queen of Coin, I have to use a very specific storytelling book to read this for you. This Divine of Tell is comprised of international fairy tale, and that's the beauty about the Beneath of the Moon. I mean, it's called the Tarot of Divine. But let me go to the Queen of Coin, right? Am I seeing it right? Queen of Coin. And what is that Queen of Coin? They don't put it in this. After you look it up, the information, what is the story about? Northern Australia, Wamamu, W-A. Okay, here you go, page 57. This is the Northern Australia Gunwingu deity, Gunwingu. It's Wawamuru Gunju. I hope I'm saying it right. It's spelled WAROAMUROUNGUNDJE. And I'm here to read this fairy tale for you here. In the beginning, the world was very empty and dry. Then Rainbow Serpent came and brought the wet season of rain and flood. The giant snake used its powerful body to slither across the earth and form river and gills. It created thunderstorm and lightning, and it lived in water holes that never dry up. Then Rainbow Serpent led the goddess Wamaruangunju from across the sea. Upon arriving on land, Wamaruangunju, which was only one of her many names, gave birth to the first people. She had many children, and to each of them she assigned a place to live and a language to speak. This is why there are so many different peoples who speak so many different languages on the earth, all with the same mother. Wamaruangunju began to travel across the land, giving birth to more children. Sometimes she has accompanied by Rainbow Serpent, who became associated with menstruation, coming of age ceremony, and fertility. But the serpent left her side for some places and need the rain to end. Sometimes she was accompanied by the man Ruwek, who traveled by her side, but Ruwek eventually left her for his own journey and wife before turning into a mountain. Wamaguo Gunju continued on alone, and she gave birth to animals and plants and put everything in its place. In one spot, she created bees that produce sweet wild honey. In another spot, she created the banyan, Banyan is the name of the tree, banyan tree. She even carved and created many natural features of the landscape. In this way, she was responsible for much of the countryside, and her many children prospered. Eventually, she reached the end of the land and disappeared. Some people think she returned to the sea, while others think she's still somewhere on the earth, but no one knows for sure. She had made so much contribution to this land before disappearing. Many children. It's about Buya. It seems like you might have a baby with him before. Perhaps it was it a miscarriage? It wasn't born. So it wasn't born. For whatever reason, it's trying to tell me it's a miscarriage or something. Okay, so that what happened. So that was a miscarriage. And I'm trying to understand the intention of your spiritual guardian telling this story, empty and dry. Oh, I see what it is. It is talk about life events. It goes on every day. You have many past life events as well, but you're reminiscing it, the past. But then it's talk about this Rama Muan Ganju. Yeah, she been through a lot as well in her life, and she left behind many contributions as well. But she's not reminiscing her past because she's living in a fulfilling life, and she know she have contributed in her best of everything that she knows how at that moment in time. That is the sense of feeling. But then I'm sensing the contrast regarding you, Buya. Something is still lingering between you and this person, Fa. Am I saying it correctly? But I will just use the initial M. Because there is still hunting feeling. It's beyond our curiosity, even though our curiosity, but I feel like because they're not communicating. Recently, You guys communicated recently? Rekindled? So you guys are rekindled recently. That's what I'm getting. Is there any purpose that she needs to know about this beside her own feeling that she's not understanding? I feel like she's confused. I understand this purpose of the story, but how is it applied to her? I'm sensing her underlying question. Am I allowed to answer that? No. Sacred journey. She has to go through her life event, and that's what this is about, this story. Because woman Ruanganju, she has to walk this journey without knowing the truth, without knowing the future about everything. But she take things in a positive way to improve, to grow. Personal development and personal growth using her ability to make better in her life and other people's life as well. But why do I feel like it isn't about this guy that you're still wondering what the heck's going on? That's where the confusion might be coming through. Because you're not understanding your purpose. You're not understanding your fulfillment. I'm just still trying to connect with your spiritual guardian, Muja, about the purpose of this reading for you. I feel like it's more like your desire manifesting it. Your spiritual guardian is not responding to me. I don't know why. Manifestation. You want me to talk about manifestation with her. Desire, it's very tricky. Booyah. Desire is not love. Desire is just a moment of feeling. It could come from immediate gratification. It could come from something in the long term or immediate term that desire you to go about doing something. Desire is not the truth of a matter. Desire comes from some type of emotions. And it's a lot coming from your negative emotions. And that's the purpose of the spiritual guardian. It's talking about why I understand that you're having contrast with this fairy tale story because you're not the character of this fairy tale story. I think your spiritual guardian wants you to understand about life cycle, want you to understand about life journey, want you to understand about life events, and also want you to understand about destiny. If it meant to happen, it will happen. Doesn't matter what you do, you will still walk back into this destiny no matter what. But in the meantime, why are you still struggling? this story about this person is not struggling. I feel like she takes whatever resources that is available in her environment and do great things with it. And I feel like you know that already based on what you're saying, but you are struggling emotionally deep down inside because of one word, desire. I cannot tell you what you need to do. I know you want to move forward, move on, forget about him forever, even if you try to come back in the future. I mean, I'm not here to give you an answer for that. I will never give advice to anybody what you should do. I'm not a therapist. I'm definitely not a personal counselor. I give reading to help you understand your energy, help you understand your feeling, help you understand to open your heart, help you understand that how to reach for your soul fulfillment. Now, this in order to do that, you cannot codependent on somebody else, whatever that they choose to do with the action, right? With M, he choose what he wants to do. He choose when to come in, when to leave, okay? That is him. But the question is, if this is not what you want to share your life with, then it is you to make that decision. It is you to draw healthy boundary with that person. Now you got to understand your feeling first, right? You cannot do any of that when you are lost within your inner world. Because of the word desire drive you to get lost about your own authentic self. And you have to know what is true to yourself first. If someone coming in your life, it doesn't have to be anybody in your social circle or in the future, whoever new person you're going to encounter. You know, it is aligned to your authentic self or not. If it's not, then if you think that it's worthy of your time to socialize with this individual, yeah, go for it. I mean, that is your decision, but you need to understand your desire first. Is this serving your greatest good or not? I feel like it is an out of love. Initially, it felt like love, but it isn't. Am I allowed to say that? I'm allowed to say it is a karmic relationship with M came together to trigger your desire, to help you understand that your desire is coming from some form of negative emotion that you need to go back and reflect on. And what you need to help to improve your personal self. It is about you, so you can release those negative emotions that it isn't good for you. It is blinding you to relationship, to get into a relationship because of this desire isn't your authentic self. So anything I need to elaborate for Puya? So you need to be like Wamamu Wangunju to walk her path, to know that what she can create from the inside to make her life beautiful. And that's what she has been doing. Yeah, she gave birth to children. She have done a lot to create language, right? To pass on her knowledge to children and so forth to create more abundance around her. Yeah, to reach the end of the end of the land is meaning to reach the end of your life in this lifetime. That is what is referencing. Word for that you experience every day, embrace each one of them in a positive light. I feel like each life event is trying to teach you something, to show the other side of you that you're not realizing, the dark side of you that you need to embrace, not that you need to continue to practice that dark side. But I feel like that if you embrace this dark side, you can do self-transformation properly and positively, to help you reach for your higher self, to help you reach for your soul fulfillment. Why do I say that you have goal in life? You know what it is that you want in life. But you need to truly ask yourself if that coming from desire or it is come from your true passion. Is there any more to say about Tjibuya? Reconciliation. Your guardians hope that you will reconcile with him in the future when he's coming back. Reconciling is mean your negative feeling towards him. Draw a healthy boundary with him. Before you do that, you need to understand your feeling. If it is not love, you don't love him, then draw this healthy boundary with him. You don't have to be a lover. Friends is still good, right? But you have to answer that question yourself. Do you actually love him? Or is it just a desire? Desire isn't love. Is there more she needs to know? Tjibuya. I'm glad to end this reading for you, Tjibuya. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Guided to use the Priestess of Light Oracle. Going to the first card. Grateful, optimism, joyous will of the future. Let me go to 51. So the past, future. But then you guys are not living in the present. This energy together. Either look in the past or what's going to happen in the future. But what about now? You know, that is not being focused on the now. Either worry too much about the future and then also dismiss something important in the past. It is very difficult to have happiness when you're spitting into a different timeline. But when you're living currently, right now, so that leads to dissatisfactions. There's always some sort of demand, wants, needs, desire, that all mix them together. And optimism comes to me about this. There is a lack of optimism in the relationship as well. Something happens, it's not what either of you expected, to trigger lacking optimism in the relationship. So there's a negative feelings involved. Something happened in the past that triggered the negative feelings. Let me hide this person. There's no need to commenting. I'm just picking up energy that I just don't like to deal with here. Just let me mute this. So it needs to have gratitude, it needs to have grace, it needs to have compassion. I feel like that's what's missing in this synergy between you and him. And the appreciation as well, being together. So it doesn't matter what that roller coaster may be, up and down, that y'all have been dealing with. But you need to appreciate every moment, because it's hard to have destiny to meet somebody and then having a relationship with somebody. The appreciation of each moment is important than judging each other with expectations. That's how you guys are judging each other, through expectation, some type of demands. And it's hard to listen. I feel like somebody is hurt in this relationship. Well, the both sides, it's just that come from wanting the separation, but initially it was somebody's getting hurt, but then it then turned into both sides are getting hurt. So I hope you see that negative cycle of negative feeling from one person passing on to another person. It create a domino effect of negative feelings. So it's like you have to be mindful of how y'all choose negative feelings over love. And why choose negative feeling over compassion? So each one of you need to answer that. Be honest with that, in order to mend something, to even reconcile. Reconciling doesn't mean that you will continue the relationship as before. Reconciling is to resolve the unresolved matter between you two, so you guys don't have to stuck with karma that you both created for each other. Karma, I'm talking about negative feelings you're creating that for each other. It's like self-inflicted, and then the other person is self-inflicting as well. And I won't be answering question because it's not a question reading, unfortunately, Jasmine. I can only go by what I'm receiving to express in the best that I could. So that way you guys have to, you have to open to all possibility, right? Otherwise, yeah, just listen through it and see how it goes with you. Should I go on to the next card? Sacred gratitude. Let me see what the cards say. Reference, appreciation, prayer. Pause and reflect. This is about doing it for your own self. Reflect on your past. Reflect on your feeling. Reflect on your behavior. Reflect on your thinking as well. Both parties that have to go about doing it on their own. This is not something you can help each other to do it. It is up to each other, up to individual free will. Maybe you want to self-reflect or he does not. Or maybe he does want to self-reflect but you don't. Okay, it could happen like that. So It is not something can be forced on anyone. About self-reflection. There's so much to be learned about your past, but yet you guys haven't. You guys are just worrying about the future. What's going to be behold about your relationship with him. That is so much focus on this, but nothing else, that I'm sensing is like that. It's just lacking the reflection about your overall wellness. Another word is saying like, how can you even have a strong relationship when you don't understand how you incite darkness in each other? You can't have darkness enough. Darkness enough is not true love. Darkness enough is not compassion. Darkness enough is quite selfish. Darkness enough is just desire. It's desire doesn't translate into love. What you want, what you demand, that is not love. And I'm not just saying about you, Jasmine. I feel like it's both parties are having similar problem in this regard. But I feel like one of you like taking it more heavily than the other. Is there any more to say about this? Shall I move on to the next one? Heavy. I don't know what it is your spiritual guardian want me for Elijah. Heavy. Heavy energy. Hot. Break. Heart is breaking from the past. It is more than just the current relationship with Jasmine. There is something about past underlying issue causing it's called emotional wounds. When it's having a heartbreak in the past, it is an emotional wound that he has not dealt with. It triggers the same problem in this current relationship, and it's up to him to see the darkness in him that he needs to heal. He has to go through his own self-reflection. It's not about solution with you. He have to have his own solution within himself. It's up to him to take that first step, the initial step to do it. No one can do it for him. You only create more issue for him if you continue to demand about what's going to happen regarding this relationship. He needs his time. You are not understanding the full picture of what's going on in his psyche, in his broken heart. When I say his broken heart, it's before your relationship together. He already has a broken heart That's what the guardian wants to emphasize significantly about this broken heart. It's like another simple way of saying that he has emotional baggage bringing through this relationship. How is this going to work out when he can't even function properly at a, how do you say, at a mature level perhaps? Because he's broken inside. He needs to heal. It's not like he can just have a healthy relationship with anybody. That's the simplest way of saying it. You have to be gentle and be kind and be compassionate. Demanding something is not compassionate. It is not out of love. Like I said, it's out of selfishness. When you have personal desire over something, you wanted it regardless of how you approach it. That is not love. That's come from selfishness. Any more to say about this? $49. Achievement. Effort plus intention. Is referencing white buffalo is so sacred and rare? Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe it's already extended or maybe there's a few left. I mean, the American land used to have plenty of white buffalo. It might not be much anymore around. So it is so rare to have relationship with someone, as I mentioned about earlier. It's like that destiny happened, right? If you believe in destiny, you're destined to meet someone. It doesn't matter where you go or what you say, you just happen to meet this individual. So it is something to cherish, something to appreciate. It's not about temperament, following temperament. For some reason, one of you initiate temperament. Whatever conversation you guys were having in the past. That is not out of love, it's not our appreciation. You have to understand your intention, both of you. I'm not sure which side are doing it. Jasmine was the one. That's what I'm confirming here. It's you have to understand your desire causing you have certain intention and you leash it out and causing some reactions toward him. It's hard for the other party to understand. It is really love language. This is the way how you love me. But be honest about that. Temperament is not love, right? It's come from your negative emotion that you haven't dealt with. So you have emotional baggage as well, Jasmine. It's not just from him, from his heartbreak, from the past, but you're having emotional baggage that you need to heal. I feel like you're not understanding what is real love, especially when you're applying condition into the relationship. Condition define expectation. Condition define what I want. Condition define demands. But that is not love language. Love, it isn't about that. So just be mindful of that. I feel like you guys are having soul lessons about your own darkness, so you can understand that, so you can do something positive about how to self transform yourself. And same for him. I mean, he has to heal, he has to do something about his heartbreaks from the past, and you have to do something about your temperament. You have to understand your desire, you have to understand your intention. If it's not coming from love, then it's coming from something else, like conditioning, something that you learn about conditioning in your childhood, at youth, and throughout as of today, and you're not expressing love properly. I think you got some sort of false impression about idea of love that is not really true love. Anything else you say about this? So change, self-transformation is all based out of self-effort. When you're being triggered by negative emotion, it's up to you to go do the self-reflection to help yourself release those negative feelings so you can grow. You have to learn and grow. No one is born to know everything. You go through life experience, exploring whatever that is, and you learn and grow from that. Okay, this is one of the relationship where you have to learn and grow yourself, and so does he. You've got 44 harvest gathering of blessing. I'm not sure why we all pops out here. Something still needs to be done to get the reward. About this relationship, I think apologies. If you're willing to step forward and make a change in this relationship, you need to do an honest apology. Don't do it for the sake of this reading is telling you, Jasmine. You have to admit after you do your self-reflection, admit what you have done in the past. Do not excuse yourself to mend the karma with him. But whatever that decision he makes, and whatever that decision you make, I'm not here to project any of that. Everyone has their own free will to choose to continue or not, or just to move on. So don't expect anything. Don't demand anything. You have to be genuine with apology. If you have attachment to this apology because you're expecting an outcome to work it out, this is not a genuine apology. Because again, you have intention, hidden intention to reconcile. Reconciling isn't about continue where we left off as a couple. So be mindful of that. So when you're ready to really reflect on yourself, to look at all the wrongs that you have done, You can make the apology to reconcile with him, okay? When I use the term reconcile, it isn't about referring being back together. So be mindful of that, because he has his own free will to choose, so does you. So appreciate every moment, every relationship you're having with him. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. As simple as a basic conversation, it's just a relationship. You know, relationship does not have to be defined romantic. Is there any more to say about for Jasmine here? Jasmine needs to reconcile with herself first. I'm channeling a message for you through your spiritual guardian. It's that Jasmine has to reconcile with herself first before moving forward, reconcile with another human being. It feels like there's some underlying issue about you. That's temperament. It's just the beginning of the problem, but there's some underlying issue that you're having, that you're not willing to face your darkness inside. I don't know, something about family, growing up. Spoil. I don't know, spoiled. Perhaps you've been spoiled by family when you're young. Spoiling can happen in so many ways. When a child demands for something, she instantly gets it. I think that's what triggered the reinforcement of your temperament. When you don't get something, you have outbursts. You have to watch out this type of behavior. It's not a very good parenting to have. It's don't blame your parent. I don't think they mean it out of bad intention. Maybe they just love you too much, that they just didn't know that how damaging to your psyche it is. Aware of that is important, so you can do your self-reflection to release that temper that you have, you know, that outburst, and also the demanding side, because they've been with negative enforcing you to have desire, wanting this, wanting that, but you never question, are those desires serving your greatest good? You're not only harming yourself, but you're harming other people as well at the same time, because of your desire, not understanding your desire. You know, desire can be very obsessive and also possessive for you. They're all negative emotions that I'm talking about here. So you have to learn to heal your own soul by releasing those desires. Is there any more you say for her? Grounding. She needs to ground herself, because you're having so much internal emotional turbulence by desires, come from so many different type of negative emotions. So you have to learn to ground yourself, being still, being silent, learn to listen more. Listening, not only listening to other people, you gotta listen to your inner world as well, Jasmine. You don't listen to your inner voice, your inner world, you're shutting your soul out. You create some subconsciousness for yourself. Eventually, it's going to separate from your own soul, from your consciousness. I know you have quite a strong ego right now, but silencing will does you very good. When you're calm, you can feel, you can send yourself with more clarity. I'm not saying to see or to hear, but to sense yourself, because your emotion is, you can only sense your emotion. It's not like you can just talk about it. It's not like you can hear it. You cannot touch it. You have to sense your own emotion and to deal with that. in a positive light, through healing, through releasing. Is there any more to say for Jasmine here? Grounding. Still want me to talk about grounding. There's so many ways to ground. Meditation is one of them. People do yoga exercise because they have to be still in one pose to just not to focus on anything. That's another way of doing it. Water activity is another way of grounding. Is it more suitable for her? Just an example, people use water activity. It's not like they engaging in physical activity, but they just sit by the lake and look at the beautiful lake, how peaceful and how calm that is, to help them, be still, be emotional still, so they don't have to keep expressing desire, blah 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 blah. This is gonna help them to get in touch with their intuition, to help them sense their own emotion, instead of letting emotion motivate you to do something without thinking about it. So I hope that makes sense. Is there any more for Jasmine? More? Sage. Sage will help you if you burn sage, smudging it or burning sage incense, whatever sage that you can get. It's to help you release some of your negative energy that come from your negative emotion. That can also bring some grounding effect to you, so that way you can reflect on your past better. But I feel like you already understand partially of yourself, but you just need to learn how to release those negative feelings that you're having, so you can stop unleashing it out on somebody. So is there any more? I'm guide to end it here for you, Jasmine. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Guide to use the Lantern Oracle for Val and Todd. Relationship insight. First card that I pulled, 44 Lantern. Love is the only place from which to observe, be in, and reflect upon life. Proceed in the great neutralizing white light of love, where you both might compassionately embrace all facets of yourself and others. That is the message here. Be observant. I feel like you have quite a bit of yang energy causing you to be action oriented, and you're missing out the peace, the harmony that needed in life. So that's what this observation is trying to say, that you can be more passive in supporting Todd. And that what this neutralizing white light of love is meaning, being neutral. Don't go negative and don't go too optimistic. Can you stay in the neutral to balance yourself, to see from a different perspective? Perhaps you're so used to having conversation with him or doing activity together, but then you're missing out the point of what is self-love is. Being around each other become like a codependency of love. But that's where this message is trying to say is that you're lacking this love of yourself, that you haven't really quite understanding that when you're so into this external desire of somebody, because it's a good feeling being around somebody. Oh, we like each other for so long, we have good feeling for each other. See, everything is about the outside, there's nothing about the inside of you. Val, do you know how you feel about yourself? Do you know how you love yourself? And so forth. But there is nothing, no story about Val in that regard. It's always about the feeling of how I feel about Todd and how Todd feel about me. So it's like you have to reflect on yourself. How do you love yourself? And I think you mentioned about, he said he wants you to be happy, right? I think that message, it's already said about your inner world. You know, life event is tend to mirroring your inner world, and I don't think you are totally realizing. For some reason, I think you grab the surface, but then you're not totally understanding that you need to do something about them. You got the message but don't understand what to do about that. And even your friend Todd is telling he wants you to be happy. That is very significant about your inner world. That's already said. You don't know how to love yourself yet. You don't know what love is about yet, except the interaction that you have with somebody. This is all external love, but there's no inner world love. So that's one thing here. Is there more need to talk about lantern? Okay, let me move to the next card. Strength of vulnerability. Strength of vulnerability. How to say it in a way that you perhaps you're in a life journey right now that feel vulnerable because you have never really how to expose your inner feeling to come out to your consciousness. That's why it is so hard, or you're trying, but that's also difficult because you haven't really tried to expose yourself in a vulnerable way. I'm talking about the feeling that is in your subconsciousness and also feeling that had been put aside. I think you once knew about those feelings but also put aside, have not dealt with for a long time. But ever since the day you were born, right? Also, wherever your family background, how you grew up, what you learned throughout your lifetime, all of that have been accumulated as of today, or make up what you are today. And that's quite long time, 13 years. And it's stopping in there is so stuffy and heavy. And you have to, if it helped you to journalize it on a book, write it down to help yourself. I think that will help you reflect so you don't forget that. So you know you're not missing any detail about yourself, your inner world. I think that is very critical for you to go back to all your feelings, all those past life events that you're having. They affect you so profoundly. Yeah, you can't have strength to be vulnerable about your heavy feelings. You just have to pull them out. Don't let them dormant. Don't let them to be your subconsciousness, because subconsciousness is not healthy for you when you start losing your consciousness. And it takes preparation. Take it easy on yourself, Val. I feel like you're driving yourself so hard for whatever reason. Am I allowed to comment any of that? Driving yourself so hard. Why is that? Worry, struggling. You're struggling with worry. Preparation. She's preparing for something. Overwhelming. You're overwhelmed with some sort of preparation, routine preparation every single day. I'm not sure about your lifestyle, but it's like you have to prepare something for family. So you're married with kids. So maybe that's why you're like this routine thing cause you to have stress level, like worry, hurry for your mom and dad. So you're taking care of your parent. So for some reason children come to me. Maybe you have to take care of them like a children or something, like your children. For whatever reason, cause you to worry. It's those are all negative emotions that I'm talking about. It's not good for your health, Val. It's not good for your emotional well-being. I understand it's family that you need to take care of, but then you have to understand your feeling. What caused you to have those negative feelings every day? Your stress level is not good. And I feel like it create a cluster of negative emotion all combined together and causing anxiety. And anxiety is just a surface symptom, but that anxiety speaks a whole bunch of negative emotion that you're having that I just mentioned, but I know there's a few more in that. But significantly, it's worry. So it's your parent. Perhaps you treat them like a children. Maybe that's the intention of your guardian. That's why it's telling me you have kids. I feel like your mindset, the way you feel about your parent, you're treating them like a kids. You're like a mothering to them, and it's not good. I think it's your perspective about them that hinder you to release your struggle. You cannot treat them like a kids. I'm sure they have enough life experience of their own. So maybe that's why, So that is the culprit. It's your mindset problem. Val. That is not a good either way for your parent and for yourself. You need to draw a better healthy boundary. Perhaps there's some pampering too much. So they feel like they need to cling onto you, like a security blanket or something. That's for protection or something, you know, when they have insecure feeling and they release it onto you and you happen to be so compromising on that, and then yeah, you see the cycling of all these negative feelings. All three parties are having negative feelings, so it's not a good thing to have. So you have to identify that. I will kind of give it to you, but you still have to reflect on yourself, you know. So self-reflection is important. Why do you feel like you need a compromise? Perhaps there's some sort of emotional attachment towards your parent that you're not really dive deep enough to say that, hey, it's not a healthy emotion toward my parents. I need to do something about it. I need to change my perspective in order to have a healthier emotional wellness, not just for me but for them as well. But you have to understand they have their emotional problem as well that they need to deal with, whether if they want to or not, but it's up to them, right? But for you, it's important. You cannot do anything about their emotional well, but however, you can stop your own darkness to stop inciting on them, you know, so they can kind of like, oh, you don't want to do this anymore, blah blah blah, you know. But then you can work on yourself to release. So don't worry about they have their own journey to deal with, but it's important that you take care of your self-love first. Once you have proper healthy self-love, then you can actually help your parent. When you cannot even help yourself, you really cannot help them. What you're doing is just continue the cycle of darkness with each other. It won't have a very healthy emotional side on either party, right? So that's the whole point that your spiritual guardian is trying to make here. So going back to your friendship with Todd, it's like it's trying to tell you that you both have your own life journey. It doesn't matter where he is or where you are. You only can appreciate the time you both share in the past. And I feel like you're emotionally attached to the good feeling from the past, and suddenly there's a huge change for you, and you couldn't adapt to that change, and that's what triggered your worry, triggering your lacking inadequate self-love in you, and not realizing that you need to do something about your inner world. Whatever happen in the future, let that be, you know. You know, if their destiny decide guide you two back together to rejoice that good friendship that you both have, then that will happen, right? Let that be the future destiny. Why even think about now? I feel like now is you that you need to work on yourself. Maybe in the future, one of you or both of you might decide to rejoice or come together. I think that your inner voice will tell you that it's not something that you need to do anything about it. So you have to be mindful your active energy, like the aggression. For some reason, you have some form of aggression about Todd. So you have to release that kind of feeling. It's not a healthy kind when you're being aggressive toward him. So I mean that's great if he's working on himself too. He needs to, because you can't have a toxic relationship. Doesn't matter how you two feel about each other. I feel like there's some toxicity going on because of the codependency for so long. It's crippling you to be independent, to have self-love, Self-love cannot be codependent. It has to only come from your own self, from your inner world only. So I hope you will learn to ignite that, learn to decondition. I feel like relationship with your parent, relationship with Todd are trying to tell you that you need to learn this soul lesson to ignite your true self-love so you don't have to codependent on anybody, okay? I think that's what this is about, compromise. You want me to talk about compromising? You cannot compromise in life to love yourself. If you start compromising for somebody, it's time to stop. You have to pause to reflect on that feeling. Why do you feel like you need to compromise? I think perhaps feeling to be need, feeling to be in service, like it kind of feels some attention in your inside. There's a void inside of you. That's what it feels like. Is there any more you want me to say? Something that you have to reflect on. It is still coming from lack of self-love. There's a void that created because of this reason. You have to reflect on that. What can you do to turn that off? To love yourself unconditionally. I think it's also tied to being too compromising. I'm speaking from a spiritual term, spiritual perspective. You're seeing from a physical perspective, and there's a huge difference. Wow. Spiritual perspective, it has to do with your soul. It has to do with the soul sensation. Use your intuitions. You have inner voice to guide you. Is there any more to do for Val? I'm glad to end this reading for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian.